Aloha, I'm Clarence Baber. My friends and people call me Cab. I grew up farming with my aunt Summers, and I've been living in Hawaii since the 70s, farming here for more than 40 years organically. I took a break from engineering and said I would chase the waves for a moment in Hawaii. And when I came here and found a piece of land, I decided to stay. Hawaii Herb Association was a state organization that founded organic techniques at growing crops commercially for sale. I wanted to learn more about them. After the Herb Association was defunct, it was translated into Hawaii Organic Farmers Association, which we were charter members of. And then we also had a Hawaii Hemp Council because we knew sugar was going out and we needed to offer a replacement. As a farmer here in Hawaii, I have watched the farming industry, and I've been a grower organically, passionately for a very long time, for 40 years. And I am based my understanding in fermentation and rock minerals to fortify their soil so we create high quality microbial structure that gives us the best result at food production and everything else that grows. I do provide consulting services for people that are interested in getting highest quality products. Whether it's a fine estate or 50,000 acres of corn, I try to see what systems are in place and complement them with the microorganisms that we know will be very helpful in creating greatest value in their crop and greatest crop amounts and fertility increase as opposed to decreasing, and water retention. And we try to improve the farmer's life quality by his crop quality improving. In my consultations, I usually experience a 15 to 30% increase in production if we're talking produce or product. My approach as a consultant is really to translate anybody's current operation into its highest quality potential with the best microorganisms we know in the world. And that's what I like to be able to do, is help out, reduce costs, and improve the operation. So I go into the garden and I have materials that I bring in. And so I haul in logs and have them chipped up. So I'll let them sit around for quite some time and just static digestion. So the bugs and everything are taking them apart, and then we get that dirt. And till-free is very useful at leaving the ground structures of the microbes in place and intact. Building healthy microbial structure will help unlock certain nutrients. We may add some important nutrients to help that begin, and it's okay to start the cycle. But once the cycle begins, the phosphorus and other nutrients that we do have can be unlocked. And therefore, if you look at it all like a big sponge, that big sponge can now absorb moisture when it comes and is a greater way of dispersing the nutrients through the land as well. Polycropping is using more than one species in the field. Diversity is key to plant resilience because we have so many species that have been monocultured or even tissue cultured and monocultured that this becomes a very delicate balance at food production or reliance. So the microbiome of the soil is greatly enhanced by the multitudes of roots of various kinds that are going through the soil. And so those roots are intertwining with each other and they're sharing nutrient. The fungi are going into the the plant's roots and sharing nutrient. So we create a really solid food soil web. And this is what holds lots of moisture and gives you great results. And through the whole field, you'll see any areas that may lack a nutrient get nutrient once this soil mat is performed. It's really good. If we can eat from food that's grown in a till-free situation, this is the highest nutrition on the planet. In the late 90s, I learned about EM technologies from Tim Lloyd in Honau Now. So bokashi is a fermentation that orients out of Japan, and it is a grouping of microorganisms that's the most effective that we know of on the planet. So bokashi is very useful at many things agriculturally. And in New York City, for example, it was very helpful at pioneering rooftop gardens for food because we need to have a thin soil and we could compose it with bokashi microorganisms and get great results on rooftops. So this decreases water needs where sometimes they don't even have water. And projects in Canada where they're growing cannabis, or in California where they're growing commercial marijuana. All these places can highly benefit with the best microorganisms, and properly put in, they do the work, and when I go away, they continue to do the work. It has application in multiple ways. It started out with farming, but then I realized from its technology that it would go to all these others currently used in cleaning up the Alawai Canal, for example. So these EM technologies are used around the world already in more than 100 countries, cleaning up waterways, helping clean up farms, piggeries, chicken operations. All of these have no smell when you're using the effective microorganisms in the program. Plus, you're going to get greater and higher quality production out of that as well. I have an agricultural sprayer, so all the areas that we have tended, we have sprayed microorganisms out. These microorganisms are going to give us a greater speed of nutrient uptake than any other type of farming, especially when we do till-free. We keep our microorganisms in the soil intact. I try to achieve highest quality soil because the best soil is going to grow the best plants wherever we are. In that, I have learned that if we add certain things like microorganisms and biochar and minerals of suitable nature to a property, we can gain the water retention that we're looking for. The soil fertility will actually grow in place. We can create a paradise of soaking up water out of the air even. So the idea of making the best soil is really where it's at. I'm Clarence Baber. My business, Island Herbs and Hawaii Rural Hemp. Aloha.